All right, guys, time for a little bit of a fun video. And if you've actually been watching, I did change the game just a little bit. Hold on. All right, so if you actually been watching, I've changed the game just a little bit, and now we're gonna actually be doing Farming Simulator 2015. Okay, yeah, I just haven't bought 17 or any of the other ones in this shit. Like, I started Farming Simulator when I was when it first came out. It was like my first one. I know 17 is a little bit better, but I just like 15 because like it was the one that I rented first, and shit, if the public libraries ever open back up, then I could get shit from the library. But anyway, fix that. Just move back the fuck over. God damn, like, I guess that shit works. Oh, there we go. All right. Let me just turn this shit down. I could have swore this shit was turned down. But yeah, let's actually go to the next video. Now this is gonna be a fun one, and this is from a while ago, and it's just one on one of those topics that I actually wanted to actually address. And this is one of the things, the reason why like you basically have a table of fucking boomers, even young boomers. You still have a table of fucking boomers. You know, unless they say my father, 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 my father. I make fun of the idiot Meghan McCain. Damn, there's a lot of fucking Megans that I know are just like fucking spoiled little brats. No matter. Let's watch. Oh, let's start over. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of a setup. This is back in February where Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was on, and if I said it incorrectly, I apologize. I'm still trying to make sure that I pronounce it correctly. Or AOC was on The View, and you get a lot of these fucking suburbanite motherfuckers, these PMCs, professional managerial class women, and women who basically have stakes in, I don't know, I don't want to say this incorrectly, but I'm going to say this. They're either part of the professional managerial class, and now they're not working, or they're supporting themselves by being a spouse to somebody who works in a professional managerial class. So they get to stay at home or work from home. Either way, it's in their class interest to seem quote-unquote woke, or it's in their class interest to actually, they're not talking to stay-at-home moms that have to stay at home because, you know, they are can't find sufficient employment to take care of themselves, or they have to work nights. That's not what The View's audience is. The View's audience are these uppity ass motherfucking women who literally feel like they accomplished something because now there are women that are CEOs, and even though it doesn't help poor women or, you know, transgender women, these women are okay, and these are the okay women. This is why they want to have the okay girl power president versus actually helping out people that are fucking poor. And you would think that Whoopi Goldberg, who started off as a working poor mother, who worked in a field where it was seen as just a shitty ass field, would have a little compassion for people who were on the poor end of the spectrum. You would think that. But of course not. She doesn't have time for revolutions. But let's continue.
I was very happy when you were elected because I thought it was a great step in a good direction. And then you lost me because...
Wait, and let's just talk about this. Why are you glad that she's elected? Was it because of her policies or because she was a woman? Like, literally. Was it because you agreed with her policies or just because she was some femoid that got elected to prove that she can take on a man? That's not why AOC got elected. She got elected because she fought for something. She got elected because literally she had a plan of helping people. Not because she was a woman. And if you voted for a person just because of the gender, you are a piece of shit. Oh, well, it's time for her. We need to stand with her. Why don't she stand with us? Like AOC does. AOC stands for helping out the people who are her constituents. Not because she's a woman. Not because she's a woman of color. But because it's the right fucking thing to do. But let's continue.
It felt like you were saying to people like me that I was too old and didn't do enough.
Oh.
And that's the fucking problem. It's not that you're too old, Whoopi. It's that you didn't do enough. Once you got to your point where you felt it was comfortable for you, you was like, fuck everybody else. And now, that feeling is coming back to haunt you where it's just like, hey, maybe I didn't do enough. But you won't be able to grasp that because it would actually be incriminating to yourself. Like, for real. Like, a lot of these women who literally act this way have this thing where, oh, you're just saying I'm bad because, like, and AOC actually has this whole YouTube video where she says, for those accusing us of having a purity test, we just have principles. But let's continue.
Oh, no.
To me, well, that's what it sounded like.
What's up, Tron?
That has bothered me because I feel like I love young people. I was once one. But you're on my shoulders.
Absolutely.
And
so, like, that whole thing right there. You're on my shoulders, so pay your respect. Bow down. I like young people. I was once one. So you should identify with the fever and the passion that a lot of us people who are under fucking 40 have with wanting to change the system. Whoopi Goldberg was an advocate of racial and gender equality. But now that she's in a place where she's part of that professional managerial class, and even above that, now it's stop rocking a boat because it's her boat now.
And we have carried this fight. People like, Nancy Pelosi, who was the only chick in the room for years. And the fight.
It doesn't matter if she was the only woman in the room if she was acting like the other men in the room. I'm sorry. You don't get to play this women are compassionate roles when they're acting just as harsh as the guys. You don't get to play that card. You don't. Hillary Clinton, she was a fucking hawk and she tried to be just as hard as a man, and look what that shit got her.
And Madam Feinstein, who was the only chick in the room for years and had to deal with all of that stuff.
Let's talk about Madam Feinstein. The same person that held a Confederate fucking flag over the capital of San Francisco, I believe she was a mayor of. You want credit for that? Fuck you. Let's continue.
And to sort of hear it sound like you were dismissing us.
Tron, I am a little bit good at it. Let's just look at my stats. Do I have my stats up? How do I bring my stats up? This is just my stats of it. I just deal with it. Like, I know the tricks of the trade, but yeah. Thank you, man.
Bothered the hell out of me.
Of course.
And she's been very upset about it.
And I've been very upset.
Meghan McCain, shut your my father ass up because you never worked for a day of your motherfucking life. I remember her political thing when she became politically active. It was during motherfucking 2008. And her claim to fame was, I don't know who I'm going to vote for, and I'm going to vote for my father. And she's been riding that wave every fucking since. And she's gotten stupider. Or maybe because we're so exposed to it, we see how stupid and backstabby she is. But let's continue.
About it for a long time. So do you think maybe they misunderstood what you were saying? Did I misunderstand what you were saying? Because I read...
Yes, you did. You misunderstood the situation because we need to progress further and not stay in one small little area that you're in, Whoopi. We need to progress further. That's how time works. But you got to your point where you was just like, well, fuck you. I got what I wanted. And we're not going to even talk about how, like, you shitting on a lot of young women for making poor choices. But you saw, like, some of the shit the poor choices that people in your own family made. Whoopi. And Tron, if you actually want to get in the game, I can actually throw this to a multiplayer. I don't have a problem at all, man. Send me a friend request.
Read the blurb on the website, so maybe you can clarify.
Of course, and I appreciate you sharing that with me because I think.
Well, I figured everybody else probably already.
Yeah, yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that with me, and I think that that's something that we have to model more in politics. You know, I work very closely with my sister Rashida Tlaib, and one of the things that she says is that we're not divided, we are disconnected, and the way that we connect is by sharing honestly our takes with each other. But that being said, first of all, I think there's a lot of incentive to blow up disagreements in the party as like huge fights because I think it's important for us all to recognize, and we do this in our rallies, to recognize the people who have been in this fight to allow us to have this window as we do right now. You know, Nancy Pelosi, that's Mama Bear of the Democratic Party. You don't mess with her.
No, she's not. She's the most corporatist donor there is. And like a corporatist Democrat there is. Because she said it. The reason why I'm speaking because I raised the most money Dude, like, and I get it, like, you get these whole things where actually Ocasio-Cortez has been nothing but respectful. But you get Nancy Pelosi who shits on these women who made history in becoming like some of the most progressive people in the Congress, and they still don't take fucking PAC money. They still don't take PAC money. As a matter of fact, they've started their own, you know, for lack of a better term, political council in order to actually help unseat corporatist Democrats who take money from these big lobbying groups. And they are getting mad because why don't you play the game like we always been told to play the game and fall into the corruption like we fell into the corruption? You see this hatred of the things that Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, you know, Ayanna Pressley, you see this hatred of what they stand for. And it's fucking unbelievable because a lot of these people, they say, why won't you get corrupted like me? And that's what their problem is. Hit the follow button on Twitch. It should be a follow button on Twitch, Tron. Also, you can actually do my Crimson 60620 PlayStation ID.
women like Barbara Lee, Jan Schakowsky, Maxine Waters, my chairman, Elijah Cummings. May he rest in peace and in power. You know, he, especially, I sat on his committee in the Oversight Committee, and he did so much to center us and uplift us. And that is so unusual in a place that revolves around seniority. So I think it's important to say that, but also to say that part of, I think, youth and culture, it's always been seen and cast as rebellious, but ultimately, we are not a moment that is disconnected from our past. We are part of a long movement of ancestors and elders that we should always acknowledge.
Cool. And so my next...
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that follow, man. Thank you for that follow.
The next thing I have to ask you now, you know, are you a Democrat? Are you like an African American? Do you know what I mean? When people say African American, we say, no, I'm an American. Don't hyphenate it. Are you a...
The fuck? Like, this is the shit that I'm talking about. These people are so fucking concerned with their identity versus saying, hey, this is the shit that I believe in. Hey, this is who I am. Versus putting a label because they're too fucking brain dead. Too fucking stupid. And stupidity is on the left and the right. To actually treat people as an individual. Versus some type of title so you can just cast them into that fucking thing. And you would think Whoopi would understand that shit. Because fucking reasons. But let's continue.
The Democrat, help me understand, because it's the same issue I have with Bernie. You know, I understand that there are a lot of places people can live in this party, but I feel like you must come in as you want me to see you.
And what's wrong with being a Democratic socialist? Well, you know what? The fucked up part about it is Sanders isn't a Democratic socialist with his policies. He's a social democrat. That whole thing about yeah, and I do actually play other games, and you can actually, if you actually hit me up on PlayStation Network, Tron, you can actually see some of the list of the games that I have. I actually don't private that. You can actually see the games that I have now. But Sanders' policies are more socialist Democrat. That's all. He still believes in the democratic process. It just thinks like, hey, stop trying to crush our people as much as you would, you know, any other way. Like, that's literally what Sanders' policy is. It's socialist democracy.
And you must come in up front. So are you... explain what kind of Democrat you are. That's what I'm asking.
I am a Democrat. Okay. And I ran as a Democrat. I am the Democratic representative of New York's 14th Congressional District. I do think in this time and in this moment, we've had this question of what does that mean? What does it mean to be a Democrat?
Or a Democratic socialist?
Can I interject though?
Right.
Okay, here's the stupidity of fucking Meghan McCain. Oh my God. It's like she didn't get enough attention. And now she needs to speak up like a whiny child. But let's continue.
Said you don't believe that you would be in the same party as Joe Biden if this were Europe. So I think what Whoopi's trying to say is it doesn't seem like there's a lot of unification.
Because Joe Biden isn't a motherfucking Democrat. He isn't. Not by European standards. He's a fucking conservative. That's the fucking truth. And the American political system is not the fucking center of the motherfucking world. That's not how this shit works. Other countries have other parts of their spectrum. We just complain about a small little sliver. But, oh shit, Tron. Man, dude. Then, I know you can cross-play on Minecraft. I have Minecraft. I don't know if you can do it on Conan. I do a lot of Conan. I don't know if you do it on what else? Of course, I got Rocket League, you know. But I mostly do PlayStation games. I'm sorry I don't have an Xbox, man. So, like, back to the point that I was saying is, yeah, we complain. Like, literally, there are literally social democrats across the board, and Joe Biden wouldn't be one of them. He would be a conservative. But let's continue.
Yes, and I think it goes to that question because in other countries, there are different parties where you break up what that actually means. There are some Democrats that are very pro-business, very pro-Wall Street. They advance causes of big pharma. And then there are other Democrats that don't take corporate money.
Yes!
That fight for working families, for a living wage, for Medicare for all.
Notice she just actually indicted a lot of motherfucking people. Oh, people that care about the corporations and Wall Street. But then there are people that care about working families. Like, she just literally had a indictment. Literally just had an indictment for these motherfuckers. And they just didn't catch it. But let's continue.
And I think
in
that, I want to clarify that I am a grassroots candidate that does not accept corporate or lobbyist funds, that I fight for working families, a living wage, Medicare for all, ending our system of mass incarceration, and making sure that we have humanity at our border.
So that was actually a fun little video. And, hold on, shit, no. Yeah, that's the perfect picture of Gonzalo Laura. Let me see if I can bring that up. But we're going to actually... like new. Like, I love that picture of his ass. Alright, I'm going to actually save that for later. But we're going to actually come back to that in a second. So
free to pursue our lifestyle as we see.
Stop. Okay, cool. Let's go back to me right quick. All right, so let's just talk about this video. You can actually tell the butthurt that was coming from off of a lot of those ladies in the panel, including Whoopi. She actually feels guilty that the fact that, maybe she didn't do enough. The whole crack about being old and all that other good bullshit, nobody really fucking cares about that. I don't care how old you are. I don't care. Like, some of the people that I know that are progressive are older than me, and I'm fucking 37. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of these people that think they've made it, they don't give a fuck about people that's beneath them. As a matter of fact, they feel better that people are beneath them. Look at Destiny. He's younger than me. And now he actually has that PMC mindset where it's just like, well, I made it, so you can work hard and make it too. Motherfucker, you got lucky. You really did get lucky. Yes, it did take some fucking work. But as Neji says, sometimes you destined for something, but it also requires fucking hard work as well to get there to make your destiny. And that's the thing. A lot of these motherfuckers, they get lucky. There are people that are working just as hard as them, that's just as good as them, is better, but didn't get the lucky break that they have. And now they're butthurt. The fact that you get a 20-something-year-old congresswoman who literally cares about people and actually is making their brand about caring about people. And when people actually think that she's gonna sell out, she doesn't. Those principles actually make sure that people they just have a character that some people just despise. And that's a problem. That is definitely a problem for a lot of people. But anyway, guys, as you can actually see, our next video up. Go to Fiverr.com. Our next video up is going to be a motherfucking Coach Red Pill video. I'm going to grab me something to drink. I'll be right back.